the records, one old guy for now, as Sydney's lockdown restrictions continue. Mike and I decided weeks ago for us to press on with fun segments about our favourite records and our passion for them. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, keep those comments coming through, and share this love for our episodes with your friends as we create this cult of records with two old guys and their records. All this week we're looking at rivalries. Were they, friendly rivalries and just competitive amongst, between record labels, or were they quite bitter? And we've got a magnificent one today because we've got one band sacking one member. He leaves and creates another band and is consumed by this revenge to create this better band. And we're talking about the heavy metal genre. We're talking about the 1980s. Yes, we are talking about Metallica and Megadeth. Was there a rivalry between the two bands? Of course there was, as Dave Mustaine from Megadeth was initially in Metallica. And yes, he's there, writing tracks and doing solos. And just before they start recording, his riotous and sort of erratic behaviour gets to the band, and they sack him just before recording the album. They put him on the bus, and he's going to go from New York to California, and it's a long bus ride of disappointment for Dave Mustaine. No second chances. They just cut it there and then. And he hears the album, and of course he's credited to several songs on that, but he also hears some of his solos duplicated or replicated, whatever you want to call it, and this kills him. This motivates him to create this better band. He wanted a faster, a louder and better band than Metallica, and he creates Megadeth. And you can see, they run parallel, their second albums, for example, Peace Sells Who's Buying, great album from Megadeth, and then you've got Ride the Lightning from Metallica. So they're moving, parallel to each other. And this, revenge on the part of Dave Mustaine is consuming him. He wants to outdo his former band members. And it's not all bad because, when Cliff Burton is tragically killed in that bus accident, he is really, really, really sad, Dave Mustaine, and he's inspired to write In My Darkest Hour as a result of, his former band member being killed. And of course, Metallica goes on to become megastars, with that Black self-titled album, when they reach mainstream audiences. And of course, Dave is probably thinking, hey, that could have been me in there. Now, this rivalry goes all the way, and then I suppose at the 30th anniversary of Kill 'Em All's release, there's a concert, and Dave Mustaine goes on stage. He realises, and they all realise, I think, that all this ill feeling and bad feeling isn't worth it. Okay, and of course, he, there's hugs between him and, of course, his former band members, and then there's also the tour many, many years after that too, called the Big Four, where, Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth and Metallica all toured together. That was amazing also. So this, I suppose, rivalry has sort of been watered down with time as they've grown and matured. But let's have a look at, like I said, I feel like Ash from Pokemon. Let's have a look at two tracks, super tracks from each band. For Metallica, I chose...
Oh, please, God, wake me.
I just went ahead and...
One. What an incredible, epic song off And Justice for All. And for Megadeth, I chose... Holy Wars, the punishment due off Rust in Peace. What tracks, both of them classics, but let's have a look at Metallica's One. And it was inspired by a movie called Johnny Got His Gun. And it's about someone coming back from war and he's lost everything. He's lost his limbs, he's lost his sight, he's lost his voice. He's dependent on nurses and doctors. And I think it really sort of fits the tradition at that point of Metallica's ballads, where they start off quite slow, like Fade to Black and Sanitarium, Welcome Home. And this is something similar. It starts off very melodic, with just a guitar. Okay, James Hetfield comes then in with his vocals. It sort of builds and builds. And then at one point you've got the staccato rhythm guitars. And of course he sort of says, landmine has taken my arms, taken my limbs, taken everything, and you've got this outro of Kirk Hammett blistering guitar work for 2 minutes as it sort of rushes through. It is an epic song, very anti-war. I think it's anti-war. They didn't sort of have that intention, but it really looks at the aftermath of war, with someone being wounded and having to live with, nothing. And, he pleads for God to take him away because there's nothing left for him to live for. Okay, now the song did go to #1 in Finland. Go Finland, as well as top 20 in the UK and top 40 in the USA. Great song. Perfect, very epic. We move to Holy Wars. Now, Holy Wars is from the opening chords. It is a crazy song. Now, there's a story behind this. They were touring, Megadeth were touring North Ireland. Before the concert, Dave Mustaine was quite upset because he saw some t-shirts, bootleg t-shirts being sold to raise money for the cause, and he thought, what's the cause? It was for the IRA. During the concert, he cops a coin to the face, and he's so upset. And then he remembers Paul McCartney's song, Give Ireland Back to the Irish, and he goes and says it to the crowd. Unfortunately, this was Belfast, Northern Ireland, and not Dublin, Ireland. So they had to get a police escort out of the town, which was, unheard of. Now, he sort of experiences, religious and political segregation between peoples, and that inspires him for Holy Wars. The Punishment Drill, of course, is inspired by the Punisher in Marvel comics. But from the opening, you've got this great rhythm guitar work. You've got this riff, which is so iconic. Now, this is bigger, this is louder, this is faster. He achieves it in this, because don't forget, he's recruited the virtuoso guitarist Marty Freeman. He's got Nick Menza on drums, and it's got everything. It's got the guitars, it's got the drums, yes. And from the opening track, a country that is divided surely will not stand. So there you have that segregation coming through. In the middle of the song, you've got this break, and thank God it breaks, because it is just so intense. And you've got this break, then you've got this bridge, and then you've got this staccato guitar work between Marty Freeman and Dave Mustaine. And it starts up again at this furious pace. And by the end of it, where he says mercy killings, and it finishes, thank God it finishes. So this is almost like a headbanger's wet dream. We really want something as heavy as this. Would this be a commercial hit? It's just too heavy and too furious, and it's ferocious. But great choice. I mean, for us headbangers, this was amazing. So we go back to one verse, Holy Wars. I'm sure it's going to become a debate between Metallica and Megadeth, but at the moment, let's look at one and Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. Which one do you prefer? Tell us all about it. Send in those comments, as well as like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and keep those comments coming through. And don't forget to share these episodes. Tomorrow we've got another huge rivalry, and I can't wait. See you tomorrow.